Hello my fellow collectors and welcome to my review of the Hiya Toys King Ghidorah from Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, let's not waste any time and look at the box. Around the edges of the box we have a steel design with the main image of the figure in the middle. In the background we have the poster image of King Ghidorah, I believe. Might not be. And then we have two small images of the figure and Godzilla King of the Monsters logo right here and Hiya Toys below it. On the side of this huge box, we have Godzilla King of the Monsters, and on the back we have two larger images of the figure, one with the walking pose, which will be very interesting to try out, and the wing stands. Then we have some blah blah blah, barcode, whatever. And now, let's get him out of the box. How the hell? There it is. There it is. Ooh. Big figure. Big figure. There he is in the packaging. Alright, let's... Ooh, there's more tape. Oh boy, I love tape. Let's just cut that. Come on, tiny knife, you got this. There you go. So much tape. Oh my god. There he is. In all of his glory. That looks so cool. I judged it too quick. Alright, after owning this thing for about a week, I have officially determined that it's a pretty good figure, but it's got some major flaws. So here we have it just sitting on the rotating platform, and you can see the paint is really amazing front and back. I especially like the spikes have actual white accents on the back, which makes it look really stands out. And the wings have the same sort of thing at the end of the claws. And the faces, you can't really see it from this distance, but I'll put another shot of it over this. But they look really nice as well, especially the teeth. They aren't just splotches of white. They are actually all individual, which I think is just something we don't get a lot with monster arts. So it's a nice change. But one thing I will say is I think the body itself is a little too dark. But I can't really say for certain because the movie itself is just all dark. They can't learn how to light their films, I guess. But let's get a closer look at the figure. So, up close, the figure itself is looking really nice. The face, especially, are really detailed. I don't know if this is quite close enough, but you can definitely see that the teeth themselves aren't just big ol' splotches. And if I move this a bit closer, you can really see the detail on it. You can also hear that they're very creaky, which is one problem I have, is that the joints are very tight. And I've been opposing this thing quite a lot. So I think that's just, I might have to heat it up. But one thing I really like are these wings. The veins are a separate color, slightly darker, which makes them stand out so much. It's something that I really wish the monster arts had. And just especially the back of the wings, unlike the monster arts, are painted. They aren't just yellow. It's really nice. And like I said earlier, the back has slight accents on every single spike, which is just a really good detail. They didn't have to do it, it's just the back, but it really brings it out. The tail, he has two tails that both are painted pretty dang well. All the spikes are very clear, concise, all that stuff. Same the wing. Also it's like split right here. Personally, I don't like that split there because it pops out a lot, but I get why they did it. They have to do it for the walking mode. But the paint is really nice. The foot, even though I don't really care about the feet, it's a little weird, but the feet themselves are painted beautifully. There's no paint on the foot instead of the nail or anything. this way lighter undertone for, I guess, the underbelly, too light. That just straight up, it's too light. I think it should have been a starker tone, but I'm not gonna say it looks bad. It does look good, but it is definitely lighter than what the movie depicted. But I don't really have too much of an issue with that. It's more so that it's not accurate than I don't like it. But again, the faces are really nice. And their mouth can actually, open a lot. It's not really supposed to open that much, but hey, at least it can open instead of Monster Arts, which kind of just has a little tiny open instead of a roaring face. Anyways, let's get to the posability of this figure, which I am pretty disappointed in, to be honest. Alright, for the posability, first off we have jaw articulation, which is very nice. It opens just the perfect amount for it to be a good roar, but it very easily pops out of the socket, and it looks kind of cool, but also it really just breaks up the mold a lot. But there's a ball joint at every single little section of the neck, but even with all those ball joints, it really can't move too much because it is very stiff. But every single ball joint, swivel, drop you the hong, yeah. Every single one of these has the exact same articulation. These necks are slightly shorter, but same articulation. The chest has a crunch, just pretty good. It's loose though. That's one problem, is that when I'm just having it standing here, it often just droops like that. So it's not as imposing a lot of the time that I want it to be. Each one of these wings has segments that pull apart and are all on joints, so you can do pretty much anything with them. But you really don't do that unless you're having it in the walking pose. The actual wing itself is on a ball joint, so it can go very far back, pretty far forward, up a lot. This thing can just almost reach its heads, and then down also pretty far. I don't know why you'd have it down, but if you want to, it's there. Let's plug that back in. The legs are where I'm most disappointed, because there is a bend at the knee, but it is barely there. It is barely a bend. Same thing with the ankle, basically nothing, and the foot. It's all pretty much nothing. Barely any pivot. You have to really force it to get a pivot out of it, which is disappointing in my opinion. The tails are kind of the same as the head. Oh no, my mic. But yeah, they're kind of just the same as the head. All on ball joints, as you can see. They're all jointed. But I don't want to move these really, because they are very prone to just detaching when I touch them even a little bit, which is probably my biggest concern with the figure for the most of the time I've posed it. It's the tail, that's the problem. I have to heat it up, and when you get the figure, you definitely want to be heating up the joint for the tail to plug it in, because otherwise it's going to be a lot of elbow grease to get that in there. But overall, posability works, but I think they could have done better on it. What really carries the figure for the most part is the paint. That is what you're probably going to get this big figure for, because it is imposing. It looks great, but the poses are highly limited. Alright, size comparison time. Here we have the Hiya Toys 2019 Godzilla, another fantastic figure. If you want me to review that, please leave a comment suggesting it. Here we have the SH Figuarts Son Goku. Here we have the SH Monster Arts 2019 Godzilla, which is also a great figure. Still really can't decide which is better, Hiya Toys or SH Monster Arts for this figure, because this has a lot of posability, but Hiya Toys has a lot of really nice paint. Here, I'll try to get them both on, let's put them over here actually. Yeah, as you can see, the Hiya Toys Godzilla is a bit bigger, but the Monster Arts has a lot more joints. And finally, here we have the SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah special color version with the Hiya Toys King Ghidorah. this. Alright, before we get to the actual poses, I wanted to first demonstrate the wing walking pose, which was a pain to figure out, because as far as I can tell, it was not in the instructions, and also, in my opinion, not really worth it. Like, I can't really imagine anyone who's going to display Ghidorah without the wings out, right? Like, it looks good and all, right? It's very well done. But you're not going to be displaying Ghidorah with the wings down. They're going to be out. He's going to be there to look imposing and giant and looming over any Godzilla figures or any other figures in general, right? But it looks good. Not from the back. From the back, it is a complete mess. Just nothing. Nothing good to look at. The front looks decent, though. I will admit. It looks good. Just, it's not as good as having him fully splayed out and just giant, right? But let's get to the outro with all the poses and stuff. People are probably just going to skip to that to get posing ideas. Whatever. I really like this figure. If I had to give it a 1 to 10 grading scale, I'd say it's a solid 8, because it looks really great on the shelf. The only thing keeping it from being a 9 or a 10 is the posability. Anyways, that's it for my review. I'll see you guys in the next one.